Hi, my name is Krista DeYoung, the founder of Girl Above.
And I'm John DeYoung, the founder of Shift Freedom, anti-sex trafficking organization here in Denver, Colorado.
And we are married. But we've also had the privilege of working with high schoolers, teaching high schoolers for the past 10 years for me, 11 years for John.
Yes.
And so we wanted to make a video about what we have observed about high school dating relationships and why so many times do high school relationships end up being a mega disaster.
And here's what guys and girls really want when they're looking for someone to date in high school.
So he needs to be super tall.
Dude, super hot.
Really cute.
She needs to be really, really cute.
Pretty popular.
Super hot.
Really buff.
Pretty hot.
He has to drive a cool car.
She should be really smart and super hot.
Maybe he plays football, but I don't know, the soccer team's kind of cool too.
Probably really attractive.
Or maybe he's a wrestler.
Really, really hot.
My mom has to like him. My dad kind of has to like him.
Probably the top of my list is she needs to be super hot.
Maybe he has blonde hair.
Super hot.
No, but seriously, that is stuff that you've heard, and that's what maybe people say they want in their checklist. But let's talk about what they really want under all the layers of garbage. What's really going on? John.
Yeah.
What's the deal with boys? Like, what what do they want? What's happening? Is anything happening?
I think boys are awesome. There's a lot of myths and a lot of things that people say about boys, but I think generally boys are a lot wiser and smarter than they put off. And I've had some really great conversation with a lot of high school boys, and I think this generation is looking for something a little bit different than what's always been handed to them. And so yeah, there's a lot going up here, but because culture is always pressing hard on them, and there's so much peer pressure. And when I sit down with high school boys and get really one-on-one with them and have an honest conversation, like, they don't want just the super hot girl. They don't just want the popular girl. They actually want to have a relationship. It's just, I think there are some gaps that we need to talk about, like why are kids missing?
So what do guys actually want?
You know, when we ask, you know, what do boys really want? We have to understand there's a lot of different types of guys, a lot of different types of guys. So I'm going to be a little bit general, and everything I say isn't like gospel.
Every guy.
Not every guy, and it's not gospel, but it is true conversations I've had with a lot of high school boys and even college people as well, college boys. They're looking for girls who actually have a common interest. They want to relate with a woman. They want to be able to have conversations with things. It's not the foundation, but they do want girls who have a common interest. But they're also looking for someone who gets to really know them, right? Like gets through the veneer that they've put in front of them, gets through the facade that they put out, and they want a girl who can kind of gracefully go through that and build that relationship. But they're also looking for girls, I think, who live for something a little bit greater than themselves and know their purpose. They're looking for girls who are very confident in who they are and are rooted in more than just physical beauty. You know, I think we joked a little earlier that guys are looking for like the super hot girl and that's just all they want. And I think media and culture would say that, but I think deep down in the heart of a young man is like, I want someone who is confident in who they are, rooted in something greater than themselves, and that puts away and that kind of like just disintegrates this facade of just this pursuit of this perfect beauty that's exterior. But man, I tell you what's really attractive is a young girl who can say, this is who I am, and this is what I'm about, and this is my purpose in life. And they just
so
exude that.
Are you saying that character and confidence in like heart, soul, mind is actually more attractive to a guy than the girl who's purely confident in like her hair and her makeup and her clothes, and like that's the tool that portrays her confidence?
Yeah, I think if we were honest, with each other, that veneer and that facade is easy to see through. That's what I've talked to a lot of high school boys. That's really what they really talk about. Because when I ask them, what do you like about the girl? They never talk about just their physical beauty. They might go, oh, she's cute, but then they blow right through that conversation and that statement and go, well, she really cares about things and she's really trying to be a better woman. And I just like her because she relates with me and she knows something about me that's really cool.
So girls have this understanding that all guys care about, or a lot of what guys care about, is just sex or getting nudes or
hooking up.
Yeah, hooking up. It's the only thing that they care about is this physical part of you, and then if you have a brain, fine. So is that true? Because it's very confusing.
Yeah, you know what? I would say it can be true, but generally I don't think it is.
So we talked about how we're talking about different kinds of guys here. Yeah. You have to be able to distinguish as a girl if you're talking to the true frat guy or a guy who's
trying to become a man.
Yeah.
There are boys out there that are really pursuing just that checklist, right? I've heard of young boys having a hit list. They literally have a hit list of girls that they actually want to hook up with. And honestly, that's not really for the girls, and it's really not for the guy. It's really just for their friends, right? And so, having a hit list doesn't impress the girl. It definitely doesn't impress me that much. It actually just impresses my social network, right? And the social network is probably not a good social network if they're looking for that hit list. What we're talking about are young girls being able to discern between the guy who is just talking and thinking about sex and a guy who is caught up in a world about sex but wants something deeper, right? Because sometimes the guys are being asked to lower their bar. They're being asked to lower their bar to be in the common or to be accepted in the general social groups. And
so if a guy asks a girl for nudes, if a guy wants to hook up with a girl, all these things, if you're a high schooler, does it actually mean that he likes her?
No. Yeah. Let me throw a theory at you. Is this: when a man objectifies a woman, he must first objectify himself.
Tell me more.
When a man objectifies a woman, he must first objectify himself, because if he's pursuing just physical stimulation, then he's only thinking about his physical stimulation. So that has to come first. So it's the way that we look at relationships. It's if I'm going to pursue a deeper relationship, I'm probably not going to only pursue the surface.
Right. And you're not going to start at the surface. You're not going to say, can I get a nude? Or send me a pic before you say, hey, can I take you out?
So the conversation of nudes and sexting nowadays, even though it's very prevalent, it really is not real communication. It's really, I'm going to objectify you, but before I do that, I must first think of myself as just a sexual organ. I'm going to first think of myself, I'm going to satisfy that little thing, and then I need you to give it to me. And honestly, you send that picture, let's say that the girl sends the picture to the guy, it's not going to stay with just the guy. It's going to be minimal 25 other boys who's going to get the picture. So again, it's not really about the girl, it's not about the guy, it's about the social network.
Because the guy wants to look cool to all of his friends.
Yeah, I mean, awesome. That. And then I think some guys who are doing it also are using those nudes as sexual release. And so they're not, how could they ever, it would be very difficult to get to know a young girl if the first thing you think about the young girl is just an object, and my relationship with you is object to object. It's never person to person.
And unfortunately, young girls have been trained into believing that sex equals love. So if a guy wants pictures from you, if he wants to hook up with you, he must really, really like you, and girls want to be chosen. So do not mistake him pursuing physical fulfillment and popularity in the locker room with him actually caring about you. They look very different, which is one of the gaps that we see in high school relationships. When we talk to a teenage girl who's like, oh my gosh, he loves me, but this is what he wants from me, we're like,
Well, it would be nothing. It would be really weird. It'd be really weird if the way you want to show love, like if your mom just did that. Like it'd be weird if that was the way we showed affection and love and cherishing each other.
But that's what we think that's how we think guys receive love, is purely that. That's what guys want, which is why we're having this conversation about, is that what guys want, or is that just what they portray?
Yeah. Guys don't really want just sex. That I can tell you 100%. They may act it, they may talk it, they may text it, they may, pursue it and joke about it. But really deep inside, guys do not just want sex. They want a relationship. They actually want to be known by someone else.
Good to know.
So now that you have asked us about boys, I get the privilege to ask you, what do girls want?